So, buying art can be difficult if you want to go out and stuff like that. And art can be expensive in so many ways. But also, making a living as an artist can be very, very difficult. So, I want to talk about maybe using technology to actually improve these scenarios. And one of them I want to talk about is what if you could have a display in your house? And let's say this display in this house, you can make it so buy some art, some digital art someone makes, and it displays that digital art on your walls after you buy it. So you give them some money with a certain subscription or other services like that. And maybe we can make an art collective and network with unions and stuff that if someone's struggling, that they still get some money or doing parts or to protect them if someone tries to steal their art or in other ways. But the problem with having a display of art and everything, um, it could be the well, the problem. One of the problems is that it uses up a lot of power, and certain if it's always glowing and stuff, that can also be irritating. And also, the display can use up a significant amount of energy, heat, and also it can be bright and keep you up all night. So there's a couple technologies to actually make a display of something that is on the cheaper side, the cheaper end. One of those technologies is e-ink. And basically the simplest e-ink displays, which are used in the Kindle mainly, have in little parts, black ink and white ink. And you put electrical current, and depending on how electrical current goes, either white ink goes to the top of the pod or black ink. And that can cause you to have black and white. They're slow to update, but once you update them once, and if you keep it on the same units, it never uses up power, and it can adjust to lighting levels and stuff like that, and doesn't glow. There are fancier e-ink displays where you might have in single pod multiple different inks, or you might have layers of different inks and stuff that are all interacting to give you more color options. Or you might have a color filter on top, so like some of it reflects red and blue light. Or you might have it instead absorb or reflect light, so there's a reflective or a one, and reflexive filters for more vibrant colors, and all these other ones. Another way of making color is something called Stocksol color. And Stocksol color is how Stocksol color works is light has a wave, and between certain things, vibrations happen differently. So let's say you have two particles, and I'm going to use a pencil to make this a little better on here. Two particles, and they have a gap in between them. Well, if you have a really long piece of light, it might act like the gap doesn't exist because it goes through the whole thing. For one of the wavelength, it interacts strongly with this gap because it fits nicely and neatly into this gap. If it's very small, it usually interacts more strongly with each individual part of the gap, but doesn't resonate within the gap. You can also think of the gap if it goes back and forth like a spring almost, that causes resonance. So by moving little, and all this is really complicated, but by moving little structures close together, you can make it so it absorbs light, it gets trapped in certain gaps, or it can instead of bending it, it can bend it out and flex certain wavelengths. Like you can have multiple layers to give fancier colors. These colors can be super vibrant. Technology is still growing, but to give you an idea how vibrant these colors can be, it's what gives butterflies their beautiful colors. Many bugs, not all bugs. It's usually what gives colors to It usually what gives very iridescent colors and like the shining colors like beetle ones where you see like rainbows and stuff. Very good with the iridescent color stuff. We can make any color theoretically in any image with enough detail. And there's many ways of doing it. The other thing, and the nice thing about this, is that it's a lot harder to design, but it opens up even more colors and also images with texture. It seems like when you view it from different angles, it scatters light differently. So it can also have like rainbow effects and stuff like that, and disco effects. Another one is just to have art displays that are electronic. They are already moving stuff. Like you could have a clock and stuff that always has characters and stuff that are moving. But it puts this one with a specific design. So like doing certain times a day, it's changing in a dynamic way. But it's always going to have to change in a dynamic way. But then display stuff. Or you can have just the art piece with moving pieces, but that's not as flexible as these displays. And I'm going to just call that e-art, electronic art. You can also, there's ways of 3D printing stuff that could be art and statues that you can melt down and reprint new statues. And there's even ways now of incorporating many, many different colors in these statues with actual structural art and stuff like that, because you can make the texture of the material different, and that can actually change its color. And I'm not talking about the texture you really feel, but I'm talking like nano level textures and stuff like that with bubbles and stuff. So you have all that ways, and the idea would be that in some ways you purchase a subscription or something, or you purchase some money to look at a bunch of people's art, and then you do this so you can't just fully rip off people. And then you see like a preview of a person's art in some way, and then you can purchase the whole art piece, or you rent out an art piece, but after a certain amount of time, you fully pay for it. So it's not like you're stuck in a lifetime subscription paying for the same one. And you can change the art, and you can also send local ones, and people would also learn how to make this art themselves. This also could be a way that people could kickstart the businesses that cannot move around, and stuff like that. And it could be more than just art. It can also be, these displays maybe be used for other things, for signage to messaging and so much more. Or it could be used to be sale art, like you go to someone else's house and you see an art display and you want to copy it or mimic it. You would also have to make a robust system to detect that people are not selling this pirating and stuff, and that's why I also say a subscription kind of service with previews and stuff to prevent pirating and stealing of other people's art. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It will help the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in the year, 4,000 watch hours, so that I can monetize this possibly to help with some financial things. If you have any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below, and please share it with your friends, these videos on a wide variety of subjects. Well, thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.